Yo, 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 what up, Raider Nation? Welcome into another exciting episode of Raider Ragu Show. Yes, sir. So I guess everybody's heard by now. John Harbaugh signed up with the New York Giants. He's going to be their head coach. They gave him a 5-year deal. I believe he's going to bring Todd Monken over there to be the OC for him. They're going to run that same program they've been running in Baltimore. Um, So yeah, that's the first domino to drop, man. The big name, John Harbaugh, decided to go over to the NFC, get on the other side of the league from his brother, and coach the New York Giants. Good, it's a good job. The New York Giants, you turn the Giants around, you get a lot of pub for that. So yeah, shout out to John. He's going to sign up with the Giants, and they got some pieces, right? They got Jackson Dart, they got the QB. They got Malik Neighbors. Hopefully he comes back, 100%. They got, they got some running backs over there. They got decent running back help. They got some pieces, man. Also, Wandale Robinson. They got some pieces on defense. The defensive line is one of the better defensive lines in the NFC, I would say. The defensive front as a whole, I would say, is one of the better defensive fronts. So, with a little bit of a culture and program building over there, man, they're going to end up being pretty solid under Harbaugh, I would think, eventually, if not right away. Um, but, the Raiders are still looking. The Raiders, along with 8 other teams, are still looking for coaches. So Mike Tomlin is also out there, right? There's been some discussion about whether the Raiders should go after Tomlin. I don't think the Raiders are going to do the Tomlin thing because he's still under contract with the Steelers. So I really don't see the Raiders doing that, where they're making a deal for a coach. So I don't see that happening. We we're not going to be seeing Mike Tomlin in Vegas. I can confidently say that because I can't see the Raiders making any type of move like that. And he's saying that he doesn't want to coach in the next coming season in 2026. So he doesn't want to coach. And if he did coach through 27, I believe the Steelers would have to be compensated. So I don't think that's something the Raiders are interested in. So I think Mike Tomlin is out for the Raiders. Now, the rising stars in the coaching ranks, right? The uh, Davis Webbs, Jesse Minter, Clint Kubiak, Jeff Hafley. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that the Raiders have talked to / interviewed. All young guys, haven't been head coaches before ever. It's Jesse Minter is the defensive coordinator for the Chargers. He's probably going to get the Ravens job, but I believe the Raiders still talk with him. Clint Kubiak is also a guy that the Raiders spoke to, an offensive guy. He was one of the hot premier candidates even last season. He ended up remaining as an OC with the Seahawks, who are in the divisional playoff this coming weekend. So Clint Kubiak for the Raiders is a name to look out for, because if they lose to the Niners this weekend, that could be a hire that the Raiders announce right away. Perhaps Monday, they could be making that announcement if Kubiak's their guy. If they win, then they still got to hold on, right, and wait for Seattle to be eliminated so that they can go ahead and hire the guy, because they can't hire the guy while he's still working for the other team in the NFL. Now, they have the green light on Mentor and Hafley if they wanted to hire them. So that leads me to believe that neither one of them is really a serious candidate. Maybe Hafley is a guy that they wanted to come in and be the DC, perhaps. I don't know. Or maybe they really did give him a serious interview, but Hafley I don't think is an option. Um, so that leaves us with all the other guys that they interviewed, the other, 12 guys, because we didn't. Well, Kubiak was one of them, and Hafley was one of them. Mentor wasn't one of them. Tomlin wasn't one of them, and Harbaugh was one of them. So you take Kubiak, Hafley, Harbaugh away. Mentor was added, so that's 9 more guys that the Raiders are still looking at. And I don't know. They're saying perhaps Kubiak has the inside track. I don't know that to be true. I'm thinking that the Raiders it's somebody that is coaching still. All right. So that kind of narrows it down. Any of the coaches that are on the list that haven't been hired, that aren't coaching right now, I think we can eliminate them. Right. So that would be E.G. Evero. I think he's not going to be hired. Flores. Brian Flores, right? I don't think they're going to be hired. He's going to be hired. Even, Matt LaFleur at this point, even though his situation is kind of in flux right now, you don't really know what's up with him in Green Bay, but they're supposed to be getting a new contract. He's under contract for next year, if I'm not mistaken. But they're supposed to be giving him a new contract. They were supposed to be working on that. So that hasn't happened, but I think you can eliminate him because he's out of the picture. He's not coaching and he hasn't been hired. So that leaves coaches that's still in there that they interviewed. So Davis Webb, Vance Joseph, the Ram guy. So Shula, Mike LaFleur, and Nathan Shieldhouse. So that's 3. We just said 2. So that's 5. That's 5 candidates still going. Who else did they interview? I don't have the list right here. Hold on. I'm going to grab the list. Word. Okay, yes, Stefanski. That was the name I was looking for. I don't think they're going to hire Stefanski either because he's not in the playoffs, right? They could hire him if they wanted to. Nothing stopping them from hiring Stefanski. They're not going to hire Matt Nagy either, right? Matt Nagy's not in the playoffs. They could have hired these guys. These guys could be working on their staffs. You understand? So I don't think any of those guys are going to get hired. So with that said, it's going to be Mike LaFleur, Shula, Vance Joseph, Kubiak, Webb, Shieldhouse, and that's it, man. So one of them. How many did I just name? We write them down. So Webb, Kubiak, Shula, Joseph, Shieldhouse. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. It looks like they've narrowed it down to 5 guys because they could have hired those other guys already because they're not in the playoffs. So one of these guys right here is going to be the head coach of the Raiders, and then he'll build his program from there. So The only thing I could see, it could be a combination of Shula, Shieldhouse. It could be a combination of Joseph Webb, too. Right? So Shieldhouse would be getting a raise as a OC, right? Shula comes over as the head coach. Or Webb is getting a raise as the OC and Vance Joseph comes over as the head coach. Or they go with Kubiak and Kubiak just builds his, staff from there. So that's what they got, man. That's where we at. I believe. I don't know what you guys think. You guys can let us know in the comments what's good, what you think about that. I believe that's where we've broken it down to, and I would say the Raiders are minimum top 3 best jobs in football right now. And yeah, I say that. Yeah, I'm a Raider fan. I might be a little biased. I know we've been trashed, haven't really had a good product, but with the facilities that the Raiders have, the nice stadium, even though the visiting team often invades it, with the facilities, with the stadium, with the number 1 pick, with the bread that they have, Tom Brady on board. I believe this is top 3 jobs, maybe behind only Baltimore. They got Lamar in Atlanta. Atlanta's got more pieces, I believe, than all the other teams, even Baltimore, perhaps. So, and then there's us. So you draft well, you can really get this thing rolling. And, I'm not going to hold you guys. Next videos, we're going to start getting into the draft. What I wanted to say is, the Raiders have 10 picks. They got, in the 6th round, 5th, 6th, and 7th round, they got 175, 180, 183, and 219. When I focus in on the draft, I'm not going to focus as much on those picks. Not going to focus on the number 1 pick because we know that's going to be Fernando, right? It should be. But so we're going to talk mostly about the 36, the 67, the 102, the 117, and the 134 picks. We should be able to nail all of those. And, some of those 134 top guys on the big board are tight ends, which we do not need. So that brings us on down to about the top 125, I would say. So we're going to get into that in the future. But, yeah, we just wanted to come on, talk about the coaches. I think it's going to be one of those 5 guys or a combination of those 5 guys or Kubiak. I ain't going to hold you. Just win, baby. Peace.